Welcome to the Connected Wi-Fi tutorials. My name is Keith Gann, and today I'm going to show you how to log into your router and check a couple of sections in there. If you reach out to tech support and they ask you for some information, this is where you can look for it. And this will also let you know whether or not your unit is connected to the towers and let you figure out if it could possibly be a tower issue or if tech support needs to dig a little further into the issue. So starting off, you'll want to go to your selected browser of choice. Once you go to that browser, you'll navigate to the address bar, and on the bottom of your router, there should be a router IP. There'll be one of two IPs. It'll be 192.168.16.1, or it'll be 192.168.1.1. In this case, it is the 16.1. So once you put that in there and select it, and it takes you to the live network status. Now the screen should look like this. You will then select the router login. Once you select that, it should bring you to the login page. You should see one of two login pages. You should see this login page, or you will see another login page with the colorful background, and the login information will be shifted to the left a little bit. Same firmware, just a little bit of a different theme that's been applied to it. If you would like to update everything to the current theme, just contact us. We can send you a little file to update it. No big deal. But from here, you'll put in your password. Once you put in your password, you should be greeted with the home screen. Now, your home screen may look a little different depending on which theme there is. Some selections will be on the left. Of course, these selections are on the top, and this is what most of the newer routers should look like. So from here, you'll see your system status here. Not much there to really worry about. You do have an uptime option, which will tell you how long the router's been powered up. Most of our units have a reboot feature, so they should reboot at least once a day on their own. You shouldn't have to, reboot it yourself or anything. If you are having to reboot multiple times a day, or if it's a constant thing, definitely get in touch with us. We have had some with issues, but we can see if it needs to be replaced or if we just need to update the firmware on it. So scrolling down, you shouldn't worry about memory at all. That's not really anything that should concern you. That is just the firmware and the available memory on the router. This network here will be what your mobile network connection is. So your protocol should say NBIM cellular. You'll get an address, DNS, things of that nature. And then you should have an IPv4. You may even have an IPv6, but this will tell you whether or not you're connected to cellular or not. And then here, if you do have anything connected through DHCP, which is just your normal connection to it, you'll see some devices here. If you scroll down, this will give you your wireless. So if you watch the wireless tutorial, we talk about radio 0 and radio 1. But simply, this is just showing you the names of the two and, just what channel they're on, things of that nature, if you need to know all that. And then if you scroll down, there's some other stuff, but, nothing major that needs to be worried about. The section that we are going to look at today is under modem. You'll look at connection log. So connection log here. This will tell you when the modem has not been connected and is attempting to connect to the tower, and when it is connected. So as you can see here, it says attempting to connect modem. That means that it's not connected. So once it connects, it should tell you modem 1 connected. So if you log into this, you're having issues, slow to no internet, things of that nature, and it says modem 1 connected here, then you are connected to the tower. As long as this last message here does not say attempting to connect modem or anything other than modem connected, you are connected to the tower. Then from there, we can move over to debug information. Now here is what we would ask you to send screenshots of. So if you scroll down, normally this right here, if you see anything to do with cops, and then you see all of this information under there, that is something that we need to know. So if we say, hey, can you send us a picture of your debug information? You'll want to see if you can find this. And you can sit here and let it scan through, and maybe it'll pull up through here, because as you see, this happens a couple times, and then it'll throw up this information. Then it'll throw up this information. Sometimes it'll get errors. Sometimes there's supposed to be an error there, and then sometimes they're not. So as you can see, that was the cops. It gave us the little other message. Did a couple of these, and now we're back to the cops again, and then we're back to this message. So this is normal right here. This is what we should see. So if we ask you to send us some screenshots of the modem debug information, this is what we're talking about. So moving forward, we do have our network status and our connection profile. So most routers are not going to have this. The routers we were getting at first, the people we were getting them through, they would put the software on there, and they would set everything up, and they would hide a bunch of these settings on here. And so most of them will not have network status and connection profile. Network status is where you will see all of the pertinent information for the cellular connection. So it'll give you, the SIM card number and things like that. It'll give you all that information. The connection profile is the profile that we use for the connecting to the tower. I'm not going to show you network status of this one, simply because there's some information in there I don't want to just, everybody to see. But the connection profile will show you. So the connection profile here, moving forward, we are using what we call Access My LAN. We are partnered with AT&T, and we do have a private network for Access My LAN that we will be using. And so moving forward, the APN will be hotspot at accessmylan.net, username data, password is data as well, and then authentication is PAP. This is something that we program. It should be set. You shouldn't have to mess with it. You shouldn't have to change it, anything like that. And this is set through our configuration settings. So if we have, someone who is needing to change from AT&T to Verizon, then we can send you out a Verizon card, and we can do a remote session with you, and we can either update these settings ourselves, which is, like I said, just an update file that we load to it, or we can walk you through doing that and send you the files as well. But this should not be, messed with unless, we say, hey, this is what needs to be done, because this will mess up your connection to the tower. And if somebody is messing with these settings, then, you're going to mess up your connection. So you don't want to do that, because a lot of our troubleshooting that we do it, and it's, covered. We don't really charge for it. But if it's something that is user caused, so if you go in here and you change any of this information, and we have to, send you out either another unit, or we send you the update profile, you load that update profile onto your router and it starts working again, things like that really, we charge for that type of stuff. So normally what we would do is, if you do have a problem with that, we'll ask you to send us a picture of this. So let's say you take a snapshot of this and you send it to us, and you know the password's not in there, or the username's not in there, authentication's changed, or the APN is changed, or something like that. That is something that cannot happen unless somebody goes in there and does that. So just be mindful of that. If we, troubleshoot your router and we find out that it is a user caused issue, no matter what the issue is, then you will be receiving a bill for that. So just be mindful of that. So there are some other tabs in here. You really don't have to worry about that. They're preset from when you get the router. But other than that, you should not have any other sections to go to in here. Um, Sometimes we will ask you to, check your speed test or something like that. That is kind of built into this. Um, it's not the most reliable, but if you can't get a speed test to show up on the web browser, then we can log into here and we can test this. That is not true there. Most of the time, we just use this to say, "Hey, is there a connection?" This is Most of the time this isn't accurate. So if we, ask you to run a quick speed test, it's not a huge thing. We just want to see if you're getting a connection or if it times out. We do have what we call a ping test option. So um, this one is it'll ping a certain address. So what a ping is essentially it says, hey, um, like right here, that is Google's IP address. So what it'll do is it'll say, hey Google, are you there? And then it'll wait for a response. If it gets a response, it'll say, okay, yeah, I'm here. Okay, yeah, I'm here. So it says, okay, we still have a connection. So if it says, hey Google, are you there? And there's no response, then it knows that it's not connected. So that's just kind of what that does, and it helps with troubleshooting some issues as well. But other than that, that should be, all of the areas that you have to access. That's going to be for connection issues and things like that. So if we ask you for a snapshot of your, connection profile, if we ask you a snapshot of your debug information or the connection log, this will help you find out where those locations are. Most of the time, that'll be what the troubleshooting is, unless you've gone in and tried to change the wireless settings or something like that and mess something up, which, you know, you can look at the wireless setting video and go through it and try to reset everything. But if not, you can always reach out to tech support and we can help you in that area. So I appreciate your attendance to this tutorial. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to our support team and we'll get back to you at our earliest convenience. Thanks.